All right, guys, the watch list video for Tuesday, June 7th. The SPY daily right here in a sideways chop, and on an intraday basis, most of these days, a sideways chop. It was just horrendous today trying to find anything. So, listen, if there's not a lot of volume and passion, and I view it as, I just view it this way, I view it as market participants, right? If it almost feels like nobody's trading, you shouldn't be trading either. It doesn't mean I'm saying log in tomorrow. Don't log in tomorrow, right? You log in, you start with a watch list, and if we get some volume in something, and we could, maybe play some pullback plays. I put out a couple bids today, like in that AERC, looking for pullback entries. Never got filled on one, but for the most part, there wasn't a whole lot of action at all. And I'll always say this. I go to my grave saying this. It is a skill to do nothing, right? It is a learned skill to do nothing. There was back in the day, I'm learning to trade, and I would have traded the hell out of today, and I would have nickel and dimed myself to death trying a bunch of stuff, even though there's no volume, no passion, nobody's freaking trading, and nothing's moving. It's just a great way to just, for lack of a better way of putting it, piss money away, right? So you got to learn to do nothing when there's nothing to do. I will keep logging in every day with my watch list and hopefully get a really nice setup and a little bit of volume coming into one of these, and get a nice trade or two, right? But anyway, until then, and it could just be as early as tomorrow morning. Until then, I'm going to start each day with a watch list, and so here goes my watch list for tomorrow. Whoops, VERU. I already had that up, but I was going to show you the SPY, and I already did. VERU. Put in a high back here, lower high, and then another lower high on Friday, and now kind of a quiet inside day. And actually, in after hours, it's trading at 1425. They did have a headline in after hours, so let's see, today's high was 1443. So it might just fall on the gap play watch list tomorrow. We'll see if it still holds up in pre-market. But I still like the daily chart, so irrespective of the after hours move, it would definitely still be on watch. BGXX, I keep talking about this one. It just goes right back on bounce watch, right? Didn't make any kind of trigger today. Just started off in the first 10 minutes, went up to 296 and just bled sideways and a little bit lower the rest of the day. One thing maybe worth noting is today's range had a high of 296 and a low of, I don't know, maybe 260. So like a 30 to 40 cent range. Whereas if you just look at Friday, it had a high of 373 and a low of in the 270, so almost $1 range. And then this day had a much bigger range than that even. So, it's getting to be a tighter range. It's still not a pretty daily chart. I keep talking about this big bounce it had on this day and then bleeding lower ever since. I'm just going to, until I get an A+ bounce play setup and it keeps bleeding lower, I just keep putting it on the watch list. It didn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. BKSY, really strong move back here, and now we're like 3 or 4 days lower into the 8-day. I'm going to put this one on bounce watch for tomorrow. We'll see if it gives a setup. EFOI gap down today, but put in a green day inside of Friday's candle, so we're going to keep that one on long watch. DBX, big pop, quiet inside day, looking for a 3rd day play there. View, VIEW, on June 1st, this topped out at $1.98, pulled back, and now it's curling right back up. So today's high $1.87, and then we know $1.98 might be another catalyst. Big volume on that early June day as well. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one. PATH, P-A-T-H. I had my fingers on the wrong keys. PATH had to pop on, let's see, it would have been Thursday, Friday, quiet inside day. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then today, so it's really just kind of coiling. So I'm keeping this one on long watch. KSCP, kind of obscure. Back here when it IPO'd, it kind of went nuts and then has been bleeding into what I call nothingness. But if I zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see that it had bigger volume than going back probably a month and a half, almost 2 months, and a pretty strong close. Again, you gotta squint to see it, but I am going to keep it on watch. NEGG, nice sideways action and starting to curl up with certainly a big mover back in here and nice support below. So we'll see if there's something to today's little volume spike. APP, trying to break out. I probably wouldn't have noticed this except on an intraday basis. I saw this nice upside move on big volume. Most of the volume from the day came right there, and it stayed sideways ever since then. So, and the daily's kind of interesting. So that one goes on long watch. A couple more AERC. I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see the big move it made today from a low of 240 all the way to a high of 484. Actually, it's at 530 in after hours. So we'll see. We'll see if it's gapping tomorrow. But 69 million shares, so it's hardly our little secret anymore. It's probably going to be crowded tomorrow, but I am going to put it on a chart. And then lastly, CISO, which had nice volume, biggest volume in maybe 2.5 months, and a pretty strong close. So that's it, folks. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Again, just do not oversize, do not overtrade this market. Make it be A+, or don't do anything. Because I like to come out on the other side of boring markets with all the money I went into them with, right? And this could end, it's when I say boring market, it could end tomorrow. It could last the whole month of June. We don't know. But the point is, don't nickel and dime yourself to death by trading less than A+ setups. I'm done babbling. I'll see you guys in the chat room in the morning.